First of all, I want to thank you for coming so early to this place. This is probably first time in my life when we came to this place without standing in any line. We were the first.
Oh, good.
And this is amazing. Normally that's a line for 1 hour there, stand in line. And I've seen people who were behind us already. So this is very good. And second, I want to say that right now we are standing with our feet here, privileged to be in the holiest place in the world for the Jewish people. And right now, this place is also the holiest place for Muslims. The third holiest place right now in modern Islam. This place is considered to be the third holiest place for all the Muslims in the world. And to some extent, this place is holy for Christians. And I will explain why I say to some extent. I take it a little bit into limitations because not all Christians venerate this place as holy. Maybe you do, I don't know, I didn't ask you why you came here. But some Christians say, no, this place is not holy. The Holy Sepulchre Church is holy. This place is abandoned because Jesus said. Some Christians say this, some Christians say no. This place was holy and remains holy, even though there is no temple. Okay, so let's see why this place is considered to be holy. First of all, according to the Jewish tradition, not the biblical tradition, but the Jewish rabbinical tradition, they claim that here inside this golden dome, there is a big stone, flat stone, that is considered by the Jewish people to be the stone of creation, the stone from which the world began. Okay? Of course, they explain it in a way, in a spiritual way. Okay? In a spiritual way, the Jewish tradition sees this place as a place from which the world began. Okay? And the Muslims venerate this stone as a stone from which Muhammad ascended to heaven. Also holy for them. That's why this holy place behind us, I will explain what is the difference between this golden dome and the mosque. This golden dome is just a holy place for the Muslims, not the mosque actually. And this place, the farthest mosque, Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, is the mosque where they pray together. There are 5 prayers a day. Okay, so according to the Bible, Abraham brought his son when he was tempted by God, the famous binding of Isaac, brought him to the land of Moriah. The Jewish tradition sees that this land of Moriah, mentioned in the Bible, is the same Mount Moriah that later the temple was built on. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, but I don't see strict connection between the biblical narratives later. I don't see that Solomon ever mentioned that there was a binding of Isaac on this mountain, and that's why they're building the temple here. And I see that this place wasn't Jewish for a long time, until the time of King Solomon, who built here the first in the history temple dedicated to one God. There were no temples before dedicated to one God. He built this temple. Approximately in the year 957 BC, he built this first temple. When Solomon built this temple, he immediately brought this universal idea. He said that this, first of all, Solomon said, what kind of a temple I can build to God? God is everywhere. Heaven is his throne, and this earth is a footstool for his feet. What kind of a temple I can build? You cannot build a temple. The Gentile idea was, yes, their gods were placed in the temples, their idols, but not the invisible God, the creator of the universe. So Solomon knew that it's not where God lives. It's for us. This place is just the likeness of some heavenly things, okay? Then also, while praying, he put the universal idea of this place. He said that this temple was not built only for the Jews. He said in the very beginning, in inaugurating this temple, he said, oh dear God, even if the foreigner, the alien, from a faraway land, from the islands, will come to this place to pray, you, God the Almighty, hear the prayer of the Gentile and do whatever he asks for. Which means it was not built only for the Jews, it was built for everyone who believes in one God, creator of the universe. He also said, since God doesn't dwell in the temple, he said, but I ask you, let your ears will be open to the prayers of the people on this place forever and ever. Which means it's not about the temple, it's about the place. Okay, there is no temple anymore, right? But Solomon asked, right? Solomon was a godly man. He asked God, your ears will be open to the prayers of the people forever and ever. Which means, then maybe this is true. Oh, God is everywhere. I agree. But maybe there's something special about this place, and his ears are open here because it says in the Bible, and nobody canceled it. I don't know. So you explain it as you see, I explain it as I see, and people that have a, sensitive heart, they can sense that there is something special here, I think. Okay. So then the first temple was destroyed, and then the second temple in 70 years was built. 586, the temple was destroyed. In 70 years, a new temple was built, but it was very small on a small scale. When the historical circumstances allow King Herod, because the Judea is rich, they have enough money, he decides to expand, rebuild the temple, expand the Temple Mount. And what we see right now is the expansion, is this enterprise that was taken by King Herod the Great. He built retaining walls from four sides, filled the earth, expanded the Temple Mount, and rebuilt the temple. And the temple that he built was so enormous, so beautiful, so grandiose, that the ancient sources tell us that it was one of the most beautiful structures in the ancient world. People from far away, this is the second temple. That temple, Jesus saw. That temple, his disciples saw. They say, Rabbi, look at these enormous stones. And we didn't go to this, underground tunnel, but there is an underground tunnel where they show you the stones that were laid in the foundation. It's 3 meters lower than the plaza where the Western Wall is. And you see these huge temples, huge ashlars that were laid in the foundation. And you cannot be but amazed by the grandiosity of this project. And of course, and Jesus says, you see these stones, nothing will remain. He predicts. It's not like Jesus wished the temple be destroyed. He just foresaw the destruction of the temple. I think that later on Christians misinterpreted his words by like he's cursed this place and that's it. I don't know if it is true or not. And the temple was destroyed later. And the Byzantine Christians, when Christianity became an official religion, they said, this place is cursed, leave it alone. And nothing was built here because, they say Jesus said, so leave it alone. And the spiritual center of the Christian Byzantine Empire moved from the Temple Mount that was empty to the Holy Sepulchre Church. That was a main place for them in the Byzantine times, when this city acquired pagan character. The Jews don't live here anymore. This is a Roman city, Roman people here, Gentiles. Okay, so it was different. Then the Muslims come. The Muslim conquest of the 637. And Islam, maybe my Muslim friends would not agree with me, but this is an adaptation of the Judeo-Christian tradition, okay? And that's what Muhammad said. I follow in the footsteps of Ibrahim, of Musa, Moses, and Isa, the prophet Isa, they call him a prophet. And that's why when one of his disciples and his friends, a second caliph of Islam, Caliph Umar ibn Khattab, he conquers Jerusalem. The first thing that he does, he comes to the Temple Mount, not like the Christians. Yeah, their understanding was different. And one of his most important friends was a Jew that was converted into Islam. His name was Ka'ab Abu Ishaq. Ka'ab Abu Ishaq, okay, Isaac. And this Ka'ab Abu Isaac, he shows the area to Caliph Omar. And there was a Holy of Holies here, there was this here, there was that. And Omar says, where was the place, the real place? He says, here, let's build, and Ka'ab says, let's build 2 Qiblas. You know what Qibla is? Qibla, direction of prayer. Let's build 2 Qiblas, one for Musa and one for Muhammad. And Omar says, oh, you are still with the Jewish thinking. We don't need a Qibla for Musa, we need a Qibla for Muhammad. Because he saw that this was trying to kind of compile Jewish religion with Islam. And he says, no, we're going to build only for Muhammad. And I want to tell you something, that for the Muslims, the first Qibla, you know what Qibla is? The direction of prayer. Who is this place? Not Mecca. You see, you check it out for yourselves. to check it out. Don't believe me? Check it out in your English version of Quran. This place, only in the second surah, the direction of prayer was changed. So this is very important place for them. And the legends, it's not a Quranic legend, it's later. You know, Sunnah? It's a Sunnah legend. Okay, it says that, you know, that the surah Al-Maraj says that Muhammad was taken from the Al-Masjid Al-Haram, the noble sanctuary, and transported by the creature, mythical creature that had wings and the head of a woman and a body of the horse called Al-Burak, lightning. Burak is lightning. That's why the name Barak, which means lightning. He was transported to the farthest mosque, Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. He landed here and he was ascended to heaven, and he came to heaven, and there the angel said, here are the commandments for the Muslim people. So let's say Moses went up Sinai, okay, Muhammad went up here, and he received, Moses received the commandments for the Jewish people, and he received the commandments for Arabs because he felt that he was sent only to Arabs. Can you imagine the holiness of this place? And then he comes down, and the legend says there were 50 commandments, but because, you know, the angels had mercy on the Arabs, and they were Arabs of the desert. They were not yet organized in a normal life, so they reduced the commandments until he came, landed on the land, and they were left only 5 pillars of Islam. You know which, yeah? You know which. The main is the confession of faith. Ashhadu inna la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I witness that there is only one God, oneness of God, and Muhammad is his last messenger. Okay, no messengers after him. So then to help poor, zakat, then pray 5 times a day, then do a pilgrimage to Mecca, then what else? And then Ramadan. Fasting and Ramadan. Did I miss something? No. Okay, five pillars of Islam. And this was a progress for the deserts of the you know, people of the desert. This was a progress for them because they didn't have a concept of helping weak people. They would leave old people in the desert because it's a desert. They would bury girls, you know, because they didn't need girls. They needed warriors. And all of a sudden he comes with this, you know, spiritual milk for the Muslim people. And that's as a result of coming of Caliph Qamar, these places were built. This place, if you turn around, was built in the year 691. But this gold that you see was put much later, in the 60s. First in the 60s, and then in the 80s of the 20th century. It was black. You see the old pictures because black is the color of Islam. Together with the green, black is also. This is black, still black. This was built in the year 691, and it's called Akubat al-Sahra, the golden dome, the dome on the rock. Kubat al-Sahra, and this one is called Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, farthest mosque, and it was built in the year 705. But then there was an earthquake, and it was, you know, cracked, and they built another mosque here, right? What you see now is a mosque that was built by a ruler Az-Zakhir in the year 1033. So this is one of the earliest Muslim mosques in the world, okay? Actually, the first mosque was built here, okay? So this is not, strictly speaking, this is not a mosque. This is haram, holy place, and it's octagonal, 8 angles, like looks like a, you know, Greek Byzantine structures, and as you see, that's how it survived. And it's a beautiful decorations there that we're going to take a look at. Let's go a little bit up because I want to explain there, and then I will give you free time. Okay?